Hey, welcome back. My name is Craig, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about how to accept a job offer. This means when they actually give you the information about what the job offer, the first offer is, how do you respond to them so you don't give away too much? This is the beginning of the negotiation. A lot of people screwed up, but I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's get into it. All right, so this is a 5-step process. So I'm going to give you 5 different steps. Step number 1, be gracious. This goes without saying, but a lot of people are so excited that they forget to thank the person. This is somebody who's extending you a job offer, whether or not you like it. Be gracious, and with all gratitude, it's always better to be a little bit more like personal and specific. So instead of just saying thank you, you can say something specific about what you enjoyed about meeting them, meeting the team, and regardless of whether you plan on taking the offer or whether you think it's an offer that you need to negotiate or not, you should always negotiate. You always want to say thank you. Step number 2. Ask them how they arrived at the number or how they arrived at that compensation. So you can say, just real quick, I'm curious, how did you guys arrive at that offer? Now, a lot of people won't have an answer for you right away, but this is where you really want to drop dead silent and just let the kind of pause hang there, call it a pregnant pause. Ask them how they arrived and then just stay silent. Let them fill in the gap with whatever they fill in, and this is you taking in your first information of this negotiation that's about to start. Finally, after they finish talking, you can kind of ping them for a little bit more. Say like, okay, interesting. Is there anything else that went into it? And then silence again. And let them reiterate what they said before, which is often what they'll do. But the point is, you're opening up a space and letting them fill it in with information, and hopefully you get some good stuff out of it. Step number 3, and you can do step number 2 or 3 in whatever order you want, but step number 3 is to ask them for some time to think about it. This is really important because when you get your job offer, you are not prepared in that moment to negotiate or to start that negotiation. And the truth is, they're probably not ready for that either. And it doesn't matter whether this comes over email or over the phone, however it is, just ask them for some time and say, hey, I really want to come back with, some thoughtful questions. Can I have a couple of days to think about it? And set a time for you to talk again. So if it's Tuesday, say, okay, can I get back to you on Tuesday after the weekend, whatever it is. Now you've given yourself some time to think about it, and you've given them the assurance that you're going to get back to them at a specific time. Step number 4 happens only if they ask you for a response to the offer. If they say, hey, what are you thinking about this? Like, how do you feel about these numbers, whatever it is? If they ask you that, this is how you respond. You say, well, the numbers are a little bit different than what I expected, but let me think about it a little bit. I'm really excited about working with your team, so let me think about it and I'll get back to you. Now, what I did was I didn't say, oh, they're great. I didn't say, oh, they're really bad. I didn't say high. I didn't say low. I just said, they're different. I told them we have some space between you and between me, but I didn't give any specifics. I'm not prepared, they're not prepared. I just want to give them the response that there's going to be more discussion, but don't go into it right now. Step number 5 is to go farther down the line of when you're going to talk again. This is really important. As soon as they either ask about the numbers or you're talking about the numbers and you accept the offer, now it's time to move to logistics. So if you say, hey, let's meet next Tuesday, you can take a minute and say, hey, let me just check my calendar. If this is over the phone, let me just check my calendar. And now you've moved from content conversation to logistics. And this helps move the conversation away from talking about the numbers to when you're going to talk again. So, hey, can we talk next Tuesday? Let me check my calendar. How does 3 o'clock work for you? That sort of thing. Now, you've kind of moved the conversation out of this area where you don't want to be, which is talking about negotiating, to just moving it into an agenda for next time. All right, so, it's a very simple process. You've, asked them how they arrived at the number. You were gracious. You asked them for time. You didn't give them any information. You said, hey, this number's a little bit different. And then you moved over into logistics. It's a pretty simple process, but if you kind of get swimming in there and talking, everybody starts kind of, talking, and you'll start to release some more information than you want at this point, and you don't want that. Here are the things that you didn't do. Here are the pitfalls a lot of people fall into, right? You didn't comment specifically on the offer, right? You didn't give up information on your side, but at the same time, you asked them how they arrived at the number, so you dug in and asked questions, so you're eliciting information from their side. And, you weren't going into, I was disappointed, I was not disappointed. You didn't have a knee-jerk reaction. Finally, you set up a time to talk again. Setting an agenda is always really important, and it set expectations on their side and on your side for how you guys can move forward. Okay, one final note. This is if the offer they give you is so low that you would never consider it, if it's way below something that you would ever anticipate accepting, there is something you should do in that case. So let's say it's $30,000 below your current salary, and there's no way you'd ever, even contemplate going for that price. If that happens, the thing to do is to remove the anchor. When somebody sets up, an offer and gives you a number, you don't want to sit on that number for 3 days if you have no intention of having anything close to it. So the thing to do is kind of wipe that away. If they put something on the table, you don't like it, wipe it off the table as quickly as possible. So the way you do it is say, hey, actually these numbers are a bit lower than I was expecting, but I want to be thoughtful in how I respond to you guys and, set us up for success. So give me a day and I'll get back to you on what my expectations are. One last thing I just want to add before we close this video out, which is how do you communicate with them? Do you do it over text? Do you do it over the phone? Or do you do it in person? And I definitely have a preference here. I think that the ideal is to do it over the phone. I know it makes a lot of people nervous because they don't know if they're going to say the right thing, but that's why we're here in the first place. That's why you're preparing. Why do you not do it over email? And a lot of things get sorted over email. Sometimes the offer gets sent to you over email. It's not a bad medium, but here's the thing. How many times have you misinterpreted somebody's email or text? It's ripe for misunderstanding. And so if you are gonna write an email, I would say one, keep it really short, keep it very factual, and be more upbeat than you think. That way you have no danger of being misinterpreted. If there's anything nuanced, if you wanna explain anything and you're thinking, I just need to get the wording right, if you're thinking about the wording, it is most likely they will take it with some slightly other meaning than what you are intending. So if you have to think about the wording that much, don't do it over email. Say, hey, have an email real short and then ask them for a time to talk to them on the phone. And when you have the phone, it's great because you're not in person. You can take a deep breath, have what you're gonna say in front of you. I wouldn't read it off because it's gonna sound generic, but you can have what you're planning to say in front of you in writing, and that way you have a little bit more comfort being on the phone. In person is also great because now you're really, really in it with them, but it's a lot more intense and kind of for the more advanced negotiator. So if you're not really comfortable, the phone is really your best bet. Step number 5 is, I don't know. I have no idea. What is step number 5? 1, you gratitude, thank them for the offer. 2, duh. A lot of people just get into this kind of, verbal, oh God. We'll talk more next time. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making them. I wanna make a lot more. And if you like it, let me know. Hit the like button below. Send me a comment. Let me know what you'd like me to make videos on around these topics of negotiation, communication. I'm gonna go into lots of different topics. And of course, please subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys next time.